Hi everybody, it's Jenna from Jenna Stitches. Today is Thursday, so it is things we're working on Thursday. This is my second time making this video, so hopefully it goes well this time. And if you are new here, welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you like my videos, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. I would really appreciate it. And if you are returning, thank you so much for coming back. I really appreciate that as well, and I'm glad you decided to come back and join me. So things we're making Thursday, what that is a group collaboration I'm doing with 6 other channels or 7. I can't remember if 7 is including me or not, but I do have an intro video that I had posted last Thursday about it, but it is myself, Heather from Strings and Threads, Darla from Mitts in the Bag Crochet with Darla, Jess from J Hook Magic, Erin from Crafting Kitty, Tiffany from CMM Designs, and Brandee from Bee's Creative Corner. Brandee will not be making a video this week, but as far as I know, everybody else is. And every month this year, we are picking a free pattern from off the internet that anybody can have access to work on together. And yeah, this month we picked a blanket from Yarnspirations. If you're not familiar with Yarnspirations, they have thousands of patterns that are free on their website. So if you're ever looking for free patterns and you don't know what you're looking for, go to Yarnspirations because they probably have anything you could possibly look for. But we did pick a blanket pattern for this month, and it's under my camera, so hopefully I can get it without moving you guys too much. And that is the Heart Throb blanket, and here is how it looks. A cute little corner to corner blanket. It is by Marley Bird. And let me tell you a story about this blanket. Not really the blanket in general, but the yarn. And if you watch my intro video, you'd know last week when everybody else started, I didn't have my yarn yet. So we decided to do this, and I ordered my yarn on December 31st. Granted, yes, I know it was a holiday, and there probably wasn't any shipping, and more than likely businesses didn't start shipping again until the 2nd, possibly even the 3rd, because I know there was still a lot of businesses closed on the 2nd. But I placed my order on December 31st in hopes to get it by Thursday, which I believe was the 5th last Thursday. I didn't, and it hadn't even shipped yet. So when I made my intro video, I inserted pictures of the yarn that I would be using and kind of explained my process and everything. And as soon as the yarn got here, I was going to start working on it. It didn't ship until that night, so Thursday the 5th. After I had already posted my video and everything, it had finally shipped. I think it might have shipped before that, but I know it didn't ship until the day I made my first video. The tracking didn't move again until the 9th, which I believe was this past Monday. Yep, because Tuesday was the 10th. It didn't move again until the 9th. So I just like straight panicked all weekend. I was like, I don't know when this yarn is going to get here. You know, it says it's shipped, but the shipping's not updating. It doesn't give me any estimated time of arrival or anything like that. So I was kind of going into panic mode, like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Because I didn't want to start it with other yarn, get that yarn, and then have all this yarn that I ordered sitting around for nothing. Hold on one second. Sorry. Noises from out there were too loud. I had to shut my door. I guess I could have stopped the video, but... So I didn't want to start it with other yarn that I had because I didn't have the perfect colors that I wanted. Plus, I had ordered all this yarn. I didn't want to get here and have nothing to do with it because I ordered it for this blanket. So Monday the 9th, nothing. It still said shipped. Didn't have any update shipping information. And you know how it ships, but it says it's a waiting carrier? That's what it did from the 5th when it said it shipped to the 9th. It just said awaiting shipping carrier or something along those lines. So Tuesday morning, I woke up, I checked it again. Nothing. I'd probably checked it close to 20 times. I'm not lying. I was going into panic mode about this. And by 11 o'clock Tuesday morning, still nothing. And I was like, I can't go into Thursday, today, with no progress on this blanket. We're trying to do this monthly. We're trying to complete these patterns within the month. This is a blanket. If I'm more than 2 weeks behind, I'm not going to be able to catch up. So by 11 o'clock Tuesday morning, I had decided, F it. I'm going to pull yarn from my stash and start it. I don't have a choice. I need to get the blanket started. So, and again, I didn't want to do that because I did have similar colors, and not really all of them. There was really only one color I had similar to what was coming, and it wasn't similar enough that I could start it with that and then carry on with the yarn I ordered. They weren't that similar in color. But there is a color that I'm going to be using in my temperature blanket that was close enough. So I was like, I can start it with this. I didn't have enough, so I was like, I'll have to get more of this, and then I'm going to have all the one I ordered sitting around doing nothing. But I need to get this blanket started. So I started the blanket with that yarn around 11 o'clock Tuesday. I didn't get much done on it because I did work all day Tuesday. And I like really worked on it a lot Tuesday night. And then it was about 8:30 Tuesday night. For some reason, I decided again to check the tracking. And it said it was at my post office. It never once updated where it was. It went from saying it shipped on the 5th, awaiting carrier, to moving to a different state on the 5th, or the 9th, Monday. And then said awaiting carrier the whole time. And when I took the tracking to USPS, because you could do that, because it shipped from DHL and then moves over to USPS, all it said is package awaiting to be picked up, no tracking information available. And then Tuesday night, it's at my post office. So I didn't know what to do, and I had to call my cousin as a lifeline, because I'm like, I've already started this. Do I really want to frog it all and start again tomorrow? Like, I was so frustrated with the shipping at that point that I'm like, do I even want to bother? I was like, I've already started it. I already started it with this yarn. It's more easily accessible yarn for me because it was Big Twist. Well, my closest Joann's actually is closing. So my closest Joann's now is going to be right down the road from my closest Hobby Lobby. So I guess it's not more easily accessible for me. But I was like, I guess I'll just figure out what to do with the yarn I ordered from Hobby Lobby. And then I called my cousin and I told her the whole story. I was like, this is what happened. I want to be able to start the blanket, but I've only gotten this far, and I think I was on row 9. And it's a corner to corner, so 9 rows isn't really too much. And I was like, what would you do? And she's like, honestly, you're only that far into it. And I held it up and showed it to her. She's like, I would frog it all and restart it with the yarn you ordered for it. So that's what I did. So Tuesday night, after working on 9 rows of it, I frogged it all, waited till I got my yarn from the post office Wednesday morning and started working on it. So I have only had Wednesday and today to work on it in between work, training, and everything. But I actually got quite a bit done, and this is probably one of the only times that I will agree with everybody who says I'm a fast crocheter, because yeah, I got 41 rows done. Don't ask me how, because that's crazy, but it's one of the only times I actually feel like I was a fast crocheter, because I was flying to try to get caught up. But I did get 41 rows done of it. I was hoping, and I don't know why I was hoping this, because it's very unrealistic, to be halfway by today, which again, I didn't get my yarn until yesterday morning, and I had to work yesterday and today. So I was working on it in between working. So I don't know why I had that expectation set in my head that I could even possibly get halfway done with it. But I do want to try to, by maybe tomorrow night, have it to the point that I'm decreasing, because it is a corner to corner. Probably still not going to happen, because again, I have to work tomorrow, but we'll see. But this is what I have on it so far. Let me back up a little bit. So I can't really get the whole thing into frame, but there it is. And yes, I have made mistakes on it. You can see like right up here, this definitely should not look like that. The E should be more solid right there, and these should have been the light pink. And I think there's something messed up right here too with the V. But I know I messed up. I had actually, when I was working on it last night, I was working on it while watching Doctor Who and wrestling, and I was very into both shows and realized I wasn't really paying attention much to what I was doing. I thought I was keeping very good track of it, but I obviously was not because I did mess up. You can see it. And I did frog it once. I frogged back 3 to 4 rows and redid it. And I thought I was good, so I kept going and then realized that I still had messed up. But at that point, I was tired. I was frustrated. I didn't want to frog it again when I'm so far behind as it is. So I just left it as is. So there's going to be some weird stuff up here. And like down here, my V is going to look a little weird at the bottom. But I do have it fixed to the point now where it is correct and I can follow the pattern. And I actually changed mine up a little bit. I don't know if you can tell by looking at it, but the pattern actually calls to use a J hook, 6mm, and do your corner to corner stitches in a half double crochet. I personally didn't like the look of it, and I don't like half double crochets. I always have a problem pulling that second loop, and half double crochets slow me down. So I dropped it down to an I hook and am doing double crochets instead of half doubles. So mine actually might end up being bigger, even though I dropped it down a hook size, but I'm okay with that. I mean, I'm not going to complain at all. But there's what I got so far. And I am loving all the colors so far. So this pink that I'm using is Hobby Lobby. I love this yarn pink. How fitting. This brighter color is Hot Rose. And then the letters are going to be in soft pink. My only problem that I'm thinking I might have, and I'm not sure yet, is based on... what am I going to say? Based on what? Based on the amount of yarn I've used so far, I might have to get more. Because it only calls for one of the color of the letters in the pattern. And I don't know. I haven't used even like half the skein yet. But I just keep getting worried I'm going to run out of yarn. Because I've already used almost a full skein of this. There's barely any left. But there's also not much of that color left in the pattern either, and I have a full another skein. So I might be okay. I'm not sure. I thought, like, obviously doing double crochets is going to make it bigger, but that's why I dropped down a hook size, and I thought it would even out. But if it doesn't, I mean, this time instead of ordering it online, I will actually take a trip out to my Hobby Lobby if I have to get more yarn. But I'm hoping I don't. There was something else I was going to say. Nothing about the blanket itself, but again, there it is. I think I'm done working on it for today because I have been working on it nonstop since I got my yarn yesterday. But I will definitely pick it back up tomorrow. It's a lot of fun to work on it. I forgot how much I actually like to work on corner to corners. I haven't made one in quite a long time, but I really, really enjoy doing it. And I just kind of wanted to show you guys what I'm doing for the pattern because it's working really well for me. And I'm sure everybody has their own little like style of doing it. But if you ever want to work on something like this and you're doing a Grafgan, this is what I'm doing to kind of keep track of everything because I found myself, like I said, losing my spot and I did mess up. You can see it in the blanket. So I have been completely coloring in the rows as I'm done with them. At first I was just kind of crossing them out with a pen, and then I realized unless I really, really focused on it, I couldn't figure out what line I was on. So I actually started coloring in the lines as it is now. But then I was also still having a hard time following the diagonal, doing it that way. So before I do the row, I go through with a fine tip, my fine tip of the marker, because I have dual-ended markers, and highlight the squares I'm going to be working on. So that helps me keep track of this line better. In the beginning, it's not that big of a deal, but once I got further in, I was having a hard time focusing on where the squares were actually laying. So I'm highlighting the outline of the squares to make it more apparent. And then once I finish the line, I will go color it back in like I did with the rest of these. And I just realized how cool it actually kind of looks. I've just been grabbing random markers. Like I was using this one and then I left it in the office and went to the living room, and this one was already in the living room. And then I went back into the office and then I dropped it underneath the couch. So I moved back to this one, and then this one's still out in the living room and I'm in my office. So I grabbed a purple, but they're kind of symmetrical. It looks like I purposely did that. But that's just kind of helped me follow the pattern too, especially getting to the point where it's getting bigger with more color changes. I was just having a hard time figuring out like how many I needed, and I didn't want to have to keep constantly counting. So that was my solution. So just something, if you have issues like that, you might want to try it. Also, I do have 3 of the 4 colors in the blanket so far. I've introduced the soft pink, the regular pink, and the hot rose. But this heart right here in the blanket, it calls for red, but it will actually be this like fluorescent looking pink right there. So I'm actually really looking forward to getting that in the blanket, because that was the color I was kind of nervous about and I didn't know if it would fit too well. But so far I really like the 3 colors I chose together. Not too different from the regular pattern. Like Love in the picture is white, but my soft pink really is a very soft pink. So it looks really cool, but that fluorescent pink, I think it's going to look okay, but I really want to see how it's going to look, and I can't picture it until I actually do it. So I'm excited to get that in there. But that is my update on my blanket. Very frustrating start to it. Not the blanket itself, but the whole process and getting the yarn to it. And you know what kind of irritates me even more? Is all that happened with that order. And I don't know why I even bothered to say I'm going to be more careful buying yarn this year, because I've already placed 3 orders. I got some of the new Caron cakes sitting back here that I can show in another video. I got 3 of the blossom cakes and 2 of the cinnamon cakes so far. I did say in one video though that I probably would still buy the Caron cakes, so I'm okay with that, and I definitely will use them. Caron cakes are my favorite yarn, and these blossom cakes and cinnamon cakes are amazing. So I'm definitely gonna buy more. But I also placed another Hobby Lobby order for some ideas I have in my head that I want to actually work out, and I'm so super excited for these ideas. But I placed that order yesterday and it's gonna be here Saturday. Like, why did the yarn I need to work on this project take 13 days to get to me? And then the yarn I placed yesterday that I don't need and don't know when I'm going to get to took 2 days. Well, 3 technically, because I placed it on Wednesday. Yeah, 3 days. So the yarn I needed took 10 days longer than the yarn I didn't need. Also, same with like my Michaels order. My Michaels order, I don't remember what day I placed it. I think it was Saturday and it got here Tuesday. Why did my yarn order I needed take so long? I think it's also kind of strange too that the yarn order that I got for this blanket that took 13 days to get to me was coming from DHL. So it started in Texas, I believe, with DHL, and from the way I could follow it, and again, the tracking never really updated, but it looked like it went from DHL to my local post office. Yet the order that will be here Saturday from Hobby Lobby is FedEx. But I just think it's very funny and very kind of frustrating at the same time that the yarn I actually needed for once took 13 days to get here, and the yarn I don't need and probably shouldn't have bought, but I'm super excited for, is only taking 2 to 3 days to get here. But that's all I got for you guys. I do have another video that's going to be out tomorrow. It's going to be a paid for promotion type thing that I got from a company who asked me to feature some of their products. So look forward to that tomorrow. I got some interesting things to show you guys. But I hope everybody is having a good night, and I will talk to you all tomorrow.